This is gonna be called Don't Be Shy, because you really don't need to be shy. I've been really shy, and every single day it gets a lot easier. I used to be extremely reclusive, but I always just had this really uneven, extreme mindset. I'm not sure where it came from. I guess it was multiple sources. This world really screws with you, and it really messes with how you perceive reality. Basically, you get programmed to have a false image of the way the world works in your head, and you keep reacting to this false image, this concept in your head instead of reality. Other people have phrased that better, but this is gonna be directed at people like me who are really shy, overly paranoid, overly jumpy. You have to get over it and you find out you're just making a big deal out of nothing. To this day, I struggle with a bad habit of making a mountain out of a molehill. Just making a huge deal, taking things far more seriously than they are. And, we all have our struggles. One thing I am delighted to tell you is that if you're really shy about the internet being recognized on the internet, first of all, a lot of people have things in common with other people, and I'm talking exact same traits. I'm talking same facial features, same voice types, same manners of speaking, same handwritings. We are not really made out of gradations, we're made out of parts. We're not like Oblivion character design sliders. We're more like, Lego pieces put together. I don't really play games, but like video games, internet games, I don't play those anymore, but I'm just trying to come up with an example of how people actually are made, it's not like what the weird-looking people in white lab coats holding beakers of food dye are going to tell you. So get all that out of your head. It's hard, I know, but quit worrying about being found out and having it be awkward. You don't need to worry about it. You do not have to show your face, and even if you did, the camera would actually distort your face. You should look up camera focal lengths, and you can see how much one person or a cat or whatever can look incredibly different with different camera focus settings. Not only that, but voice recorders, not only do a lot of people have very similar voices, but a similar distortion happens. So by the time you have a photo of yourself or whatever, or a recording of your voice, or even an image of your handwriting, it will be distorted, and it's going to look like those of other people. And not only that, but people are not very observant. There's that perception thing again, people having a concept in their head about what people are like, and you would be amazed at how many people will be mistaken for other people or flat out not recognized at all. I mean, how many times have you been looking at old photos of your own family or of yourself, and you wouldn't recognize yourself? You go, who's this? It looks like me. Well, it could have been you in that photo, and it was a distorted photo because cameras, they have only one lens, and they vertically or horizontally stretch the image. The phrase, the camera adds 10 pounds, is really inaccurate. What that phrase means is that detail is lost and the image is very flat, like it's been smushed with a rolling pin. So don't be shy. You won't be recognized. Just don't talk about yourself. You don't need to show your face. And even if you did do those things, you're still pretty well hidden. Just be careful. Don't say anything that doesn't need to be said. And we look forward to hearing your content.
So just some really quick ideas, just for fun and encouragement to do things. Basically, when it comes to making content on the internet, you're going to use plain text like your posts and emails and comments, and alt text comes in that gradient from the lowest effort posting to writing a gargantuan novel or some really serious document or something like that. Images and audio video. Usually, audio video together, but what's more common now is just video and no audio. Basically GIF. But I'm personally just going to do plain text, image, and audio, and there's a few platforms that will host this kind of content. So real people are allowed to go to whatever platforms we want. Shills are actually confined to their platform. I think they can follow direct links, but shills will never be able to follow you to another platform while on the clock. So if you find anyone making weird excuses why they can't go meet you on another platform, you shouldn't bother with them. There's a lot of time wasters out there, so just steer clear of them. Make your content, edit it up before you release it so it's good. And I use Notepad for everything. Whatever content you put up on a website, link to it, save the URLs. Do this for like each month, and if you find someone you like, just say hello to them and also get their URLs, and that's how you begin to make a web ring, which we're going to have to bring back because obviously search engines don't work and things get memory holed and real people get buried on websites. Anyone promoted is not a real person, okay? Websites do not promote real people things, and shills will actively downvote all real people things and insult them. They'll just insult you out of nowhere because they don't want you on the website, so deal with it. You're just gonna have to get used to it, block and ignore, and don't get discouraged. And if you have some creativity left in you, I'm completely burnt out, but I'll talk about that later. But, there's something you want to do, but you're so tired, and now that you know everything is vanity and it doesn't matter, it makes you go, what's the point? What good is it to blow my energy on something that truly doesn't matter? Well, then just put in minimal effort. Just scrawl. Now that you know there's no point in trying to make a new classical painting, you might as well just doodle for fun and maybe doodle with a message and get that out there. There's some little MS Paint scribbles that I still think about that make me smile. It doesn't need to be high effort. Just don't do memes, okay? Those are shill things. Memes are created for thread sliding, for forum sliding, and humans don't do that. We find it cringy. So, say if you want to make a movie, but you don't have the energy to make a movie for real, just write down a script and do some storyboards, and if you got the energy left, make an animatic. If you want to make some kind of an image macro mock-up, just do a little mock-up, just get creative, think outside the box. Just do something. Find a real person, do what you enjoy doing, and attract people in your interest groups. And you will not get a lot of attention or success right away. There is no such thing as organic popularity. All popularity is a sham. Even real-life popularity is a sham. You'll notice that all the popular kids, note that word, at school, they came from rich families. So popularity is just something that was slapped on top of them. They didn't warrant it. They're usually horrible people. And don't worry about the news. Don't worry about rumors or the things that is being pushed by the media. You should only focus on real people. Just worry about people like yourself, and just don't waste your brain, don't waste your energy on the things that don't matter. Whatever you see on TV doesn't matter. What you hear about in the news, it doesn't matter. Big scary rumors don't matter. Talking to people matters. Now, what's more precious than money, and we don't need money where we're going. Money brings out the ugly in people. There's time and effort, and you could call these things spoons, if you've heard of that spoony thing, where people that have very limited energy and they suffer from pain, they measure their energy unit allowances in spoons. And that's actually a real thing. Maybe it could use a better word, but energy is finite. Time is speeding up. We're running out of time, but we have to do something because you can't shove your head in the dirt and ignore the signs, how fast time is going, how bright the sun is, how bright the moon is, or if the moon is absent, and all of the events of society. Just things are breaking down fast, but, there is almost no energy left, very few spoons, and you can still create stuff, but the thing is, what good is it to polish it? Just get it clear and legible and get it out there and talk to people. That's the only thing that matters.
I'm gonna start varying up my content, and the internet used to be really awesome, but people got discouraged because of factors I've talked till I'm blue in the face about. So I covered a lot of introductory stuff, and I'll just bring things up now and then if need be. So I guess I'll talk about just what I remember, and I know that nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses are a thing. Not necessarily a good thing. They feel warm and fuzzy, but they show our biases and are not always reliable. But it's kind of interesting. One thing I'm really fascinated by is how memory works, but You can't trust the people on TV or in the magazines that wear white lab coats and hold beakers and they look weird. And yeah, I think after being lied to all my life that the only people that you should consider are just normal people like yourself. And we're gonna have to bring back Webering. See, I'm just gonna keep beating dead horses, I suppose. But we can get back what was lost. There's not many of us, but we can find each other. I think that we can sniff each other out. We get sniffed out by freaks. I don't know how they do it, but they sniff out normals somehow. And I don't know what exactly the tells are. Maybe they're like a video game AI robot that cheats. You know how video games just cheat at themselves? Well, the world is pretty weird. You have to open up your mind. You have to consider things that you have been programmed to never consider. It's just so weird. I don't know how to get into that. But maybe just being more casual, more spontaneous, and more loosened up, and just not hyper-focusing on any particular thing, but just being interested in whatever I'm interested in and talking about it. If I find something, I'll show it to you. Let's make this multimedia. Another thing I've talked about is my technological and internet capabilities. My equipment is extremely basic. My laptop is not very all that great. It's served me well over the years, but it's very limited in what it can do. So there's that. My internet's so bad that I am very limited in what I can upload. But all I really need is my voice, text, and images. I don't need anything else. So there's hosting platforms for those. For just voice, there's Vocaroo. If you want to use a video service, you're gonna have to get some software that might not be good if it's cheap, but better than nothing. That's my mantra, better than nothing. And, I can just link to anything else. Oh, Pastebin for text. If I have some good text, I'll put it on Pastebin, and I'll try to remember to link it in the description. I'm gonna have so many text files, if I need to. So, I got limitations, but I can still do what I need. I think people are intimidated by the standards. That's another one of my pet topics, the way people get this ridiculously, unrealistically high standard of production in their heads. They think that if they're not painting Renaissance art, their MS Paint scribbles are worthless and not worth sharing, and that's not always true. I've seen some MS Paint scribbles that really made me smile. They really brightened up my day, and they live on in my heart and mind. Or a problem with writing, like books, is that books are so bloated, and you can tell when the author is paid by the word with all the junk and filler. We should just be more accepting of short stories. And even like just go look at No Sleep and just see all of the painting the scenery and overdramatic talking, we don't need that. That's filler. That's junk. If you just trim out all that overdramatic, emotional, woo stuff, you get something pretty concise. And I'm gonna be pressing how important it is to be concise. Something that I keep remembering, because it's worth talking about. Video games are getting a lot of criticism lately, but something about PC gaming in particular gets criticism. I'm not a PC gamer, but this is stuff that I've read, so I'm going to repeat things I've heard or read. That video game developers are no longer optimizing stuff. Back when they were very limited, they would make everything optimized, really high quality, very low file space as much as they could. So they made the most out of what little they had. And today, they just have giant high-res textures that are gray and bland. They have a lot of uncompressed voice or something like that. They just have all this junk in them. PC gamers are complaining because these things are not optimized, they're not high quality the way past video games used to be, and instead of taking up 500 megabytes, they're taking up 10 gigabytes. Big problem with a lot of people sharing the content that they make is that they don't edit it. They just drop the raw onto the internet and wonder why people don't like it. It really does not take long to fix up your things. Editing audio, it goes very, very fast, and you can trim out minutes. Editing your art, if you gotta use the levels tool, Just people put these 5 megabyte gray blurs up on the internet, and what am I supposed to look at? It's 5 megabytes and it's garbage, and there's like this blurry figure on it or something. I don't know. You gotta like sharpen, levels tool, resize, you know? Just, if you want your content to be seen, you gotta clean it up. You gotta take a few more minutes to make it good. And that's all the effort you need. People think that they need Sony Vegas and a million copyrighted clips and a whole ton of music, and no, that's garbage. That's vanity. Just make your content and get it out there and say hello to other people and make a web ring. Just focus on the right thing, you know? End rant.